How you spend your time as a consulting business owner will either create your success or cause you to struggle. So this video, I'm going to share with you what you should keep in mind to ensure that you are doing the right things inside of your consulting business and allocating your time appropriately so that you can truly create success. All right, so to start off, it's really important that you become clear on what activities actually create value inside of your business. Any consultant on any given day is spending their time doing a lot of different things. The value of each of those things is really not created equal. So get clear on what are you actually doing and what actually creates value inside of your business. For example, it's playing with a logo or adjusting the font size on your website or formatting slides for a presentation or doing high-level general research. Do those things truly add value for your business? Well, they might, but in many cases, they're not where you should be spending your time. Having conversations with prospective clients, writing articles or creating content, negotiating a deal, writing a proposal, those are things that likely create significant value for your business. So we're not going to go over all the different potential activities because that list is very long, but it's important that you really think through where you're spending your time and understand and identify which of the activities that you are doing or could be doing can create the most value, right? Because that's where you're going to want to allocate more of your time and less time on the things that create less value. All right, so once you have an understanding of what truly creates value inside of your business and where you should be spending your time, the next thing that you want to do is to actually take an inventory of where you in fact are spending your time. And there's a few different ways that you can do this. The first would actually be to go into your email inbox, look at the sent folder, and if you scan through that, you'll start to have a pretty good idea of what kind of emails you're spending your time on, what you're thinking about, what you're working through, because that essentially catalogs and kind of archives, right, where you've been spending your time, all the emails that you've been sending out and responding to. So that can help you to get a good initial understanding. The second thing is to go into your calendar and go back 2 or 3 weeks, just day by day, flipping through and look for where have you actually been spending your time? What's in the calendar, right? What's in your calendar often will give you a really good idea of what you are prioritizing. Things that aren't in your calendar are usually things that you don't prioritize. They're usually things that aren't really adding value to your business. So if you see that you have a lot of space in your calendar that really isn't marked with anything of high value, that's a good indication that you're spending your time just kind of filling your time each day doing things that probably aren't adding a lot of value. Maybe you're getting pulled into social media, or maybe you're, again, watching videos, or you're reading something that isn't related to what you should be doing, or maybe you're just working on your website or formatting things, all things that, maybe need to be done, but usually shouldn't be done by the actual business owner because they're not the highest value activities. So think about where you've been spending your time. If you don't have a good kind of log of these things, if you haven't really been tracking them or there's no evidence, kind of inventory that you can take, then start from today. And there's different time tracking apps available. There's things like Rescue Time as well. There's these different tools, right, that you can use that will actually log where you're spending your time. And then look at that. If you're getting pulled into reading news sites or Facebook or something else, it's important for you to know because that's time that you can't get back, right? That's the one thing that we all share regardless of where we are in the world and what our circumstances are. And that is that time is our most precious asset. It's the one thing we cannot create more of. And so you really want to be intentional with where you spend your time. And this is really one of the things that often creates the greatest separation between those who struggle and those who succeed. Those who succeed are very clear about where they spend their time, and they make sure that they're spending time on high value activities. Those that struggle tend to spend time feeling like they're being productive, doing a lot, but the things that they're doing or spending their time on aren't actually creating real value for them inside of their business. Now, the next one here I'm going to talk about is one that most people don't pay much attention to or don't pay as much attention to as they should, and that is your mental and physical health. I've built and sold multiple businesses over the years. I've been working with hundreds of consultants, personally coaching them, tell them to grow multi-million-dollar consulting businesses. We built our own business to multi-millions each year, built a team of, had different experiences. And I'm sharing that simply just to say that one thing that for me has been constant, and I view it as important and really critical for everyone in order to be successful long-term, and that is your mental and physical health. You can have money, but if you're not healthy, you're not going to enjoy it. If you want to accomplish a lot, but you don't have the energy to do so, that's going to be challenging. I'm not trying to say that anything is impossible. I know people have different situations when it comes to maybe their mental health or their physical health, or they're dealing with some kind of sickness or illness. But my point is that regardless of where you are right now, I really want to encourage you. I think it's important to make your health, both mental and physical, a priority. So in my case, I've dealt with something called idiopathic hypersomnia. It's essentially sleep apnea that doesn't necessarily get better. So imagine like a battery that you go to charge when you sleep and you wake up the next day, right? Most people should feel full of energy. In my case, historically, historically I didn't. And so even if I got long hours of sleep, I still wouldn't feel charged the next day, and just, it'd be easy to feel like I could fall asleep. So I tried all different things to kind of get past that, because I didn't want that to hold me back. I still wanted to build a significant business. I still wanted to make a great impact, work with people that I enjoy, right? Make money, do all that kind of stuff. And so one thing that I found that truly did help me is exercise first thing in the morning. So I prioritize that. I go to the gym in the morning, or I run in the morning outside, and that physical kind of activity is really critical. I also have found, not just in my case, but in talking to many entrepreneurs over the years in different industries, that you get some of your best ideas when you're not sitting in your office. I'm in the office right now, and I can tell you that the best ideas that I have usually don't happen when I'm here. They're when I'm walking to the office, or when I'm at the gym, or when I'm out for a run, right? Or when I'm in a different location talking to different people, or at a coffee shop. So getting outside, that's where probably some of your best ideas will come. And then of course your mental health, right? If you're stressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you have something going on in your life that is just always on your mind, it's gonna be hard for you to perform at the level that you can, and therefore challenging to reach your full potential. So this is not a video about how to solve all those problems, and I'm certainly not the expert to do so. This is not legal, medical, financial advice. I'm simply sharing that I think if we're talking about how you can get more done, how you can succeed and not struggle, how you can deal with just being, feeling overwhelmed, and like there's a lot to do, because anytime you're building a business, there is a lot to do. I believe that physical and mental health is something that should be at the forefront, and you should prioritize. Again, you can build a truly successful business, but if you're not in the position to enjoy it because your health is, you've sacrificed it, you're probably not going to feel great about that. We have one of our values at Consulting Success, we say health is wealth. And we're just big believers that your health is wealth, and therefore it should be prioritized. Another thing that I constantly do and often recommend to clients is going through a process of continuously looking at where you spend your time. So when you get clear on what are high value activities and what are low value activities, right? You want to continue to do more of the high value activities and do less of the low value activities. That's not an exercise that you just do once and you're done. It's actually continuous, because as you start doing more high value activities, you'll find that some parts of those higher value activities may no longer be necessary for you to do. As an example, maybe you decide that you want to start writing or creating more content, and you go down that path. Well, as you do that, you might find that, in order for me to actually spend my time in the best way, I shouldn't be doing all the research that I need for writing the content. I'm going to get somebody to help me with that. And so I'm just going to only focus on writing, or I'm going to only focus on editing, or I'm going to only focus on coming up with the outline. Whatever it is that, right, your genius, your kind of secret sauce, or where you can add the most value, you want to prioritize and spend more time in those areas and less in the things that aren't that, even when you're doing something that you initially feel is high value. So that's why it's a continuous process. It's something that you should be doing consistently. I'm doing this all the time, right? Every week I'm asking myself, and I keep track of, what am I spending time on right now that isn't actually the best use of my time? And when I say it's not the best use of my time, it doesn't mean that it's not the best use of somebody else's time. Somebody else could do a great job at that. It's just maybe not the best use of my time. So the process here is to think about, when an activity comes up that you're spending time on, ask yourself, should you delegate this to somebody else and have them do it? Should you just simply delete it because maybe it's no longer important? Or should you put it into what we call the parking lot? Meaning that you track it somewhere, you kind of put it on pause, you come back to it later on, you come back to the parking lot, but it's because it's not a priority today. So everything that you're doing right now, think, is it high value? Is it low value? Get clear on, should you delegate it? Should you delete it? Or should you put it into the parking lot? And then finally, a really important one here is, if you want to create greater capacity, if you want to avoid feeling overwhelmed, if you want to be able to, get more done with less time, then make sure that you set up your engagements for success with clients. Meaning that it's really important that you set expectations early with clients about what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. What do you require of them for the project to be successful, and what can they expect from you? Set the expectations early, because if you don't, you'll find that you will have all kinds of scope creep, all kinds of requests and things that come into the project that end up taking it off the rails, end up taking more time, end up making that project less profitable. So that's my final tip here for you in this video, is to really set expectations with your clients early on, upfront, about what you're going to do, what you're going to not do, what they can expect of you, what you can expect of them, in order to make that project successful, and then stick to it. Stay on track. Now, if you want to learn more about how to manage client expectations successfully and professionally, then click on the video that you see here to go deeper into one of our other videos on that topic.